Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the Danny Danae Show. I am Danielle Danae, aka Danny Danae, and I've got a lot to say. So let's talk about it. So, you guys know I have not been doing what I'm supposed to be doing and been shooting my show the past 2 weeks now. I'm so sorry. I have been caught up, but that's no excuse. Again, I'm sorry. I'll try to make it up to you guys somehow. But yeah, I'm back. It's Monday, and we are gonna discuss a whole bunch. And yeah, like I said, a lot's been happening in the past 2 weeks. I'm gonna get into some of the stuff that I've been experiencing, some thoughts of mine, and yeah, that's gonna be what today's episode is about. So let's talk about it. So, guys, you guys don't know this, but I've been in an on and off relationship with my ex for 4 years now. Actually, it'll be well, I met him in 2020 and we didn't really start dating till 2021. But I don't know, that timeline was so weird because there was no official boyfriend and girlfriend point, but we've been holding hands. He's introduced me to his mom as his girlfriend, and I've introduced him as my boyfriend to my dad. So yeah, it's kind of rocky, but 3.5 years, let's say that. So yeah, we've been on and off for 3.5 years, and the reason why we break up and get back together is because we would experience things that we didn't like about one another, and we'd be getting these big old fights. And for the most part, when it first started out, I will take full responsibility. I was the one that completely lashed out and completely took it to the far left, and it was because I was very emotionally unstable. I didn't know how to control my emotions then. But as the years went on, this past year and last year, I've gotten more control over it. But and I've noticed, as I've gotten more control over my outbursts, I've noticed the problems in what he was doing and saying in the disagreements, in the arguments. He would always pinpoint me lashing out, not controlling my emotions. So so I only saw that as the problem. No, I thought I was the only problem here, but when I started controlling them, I was like, no, you gaslight me, and you poke at me, and then get all bent out of shape in my reaction, but you're poking the bear. It's so funny how people want to lash out about how someone is so disrespectful and how out of character they got, but they will never tell you what they did to provoke that person. And he was doing that constantly, and I didn't really realize it, like I said, until I got more healed and more aware of what was happening in these disagreements, these arguments. So I was like, look, this is crazy, and this man created an argument out of nothing just the other day. I was like, look, I cannot go through this anymore. I'm too old now. I'm 26. I can't have my years dragged out like this. I want to be married soon. I want to have kids, and I can't waste my time with an individual, even if I like him some days. Well, I liked him a lot of the days, even though I try to stay positive. And when our good days were good, they were really good. But, those bad days, they were really bad. And now I'm realizing that, I was being gaslit a lot throughout the whole relationship, even though there were things he definitely was spot on about. When, I would bring an issue forward that was clearly an issue in the relationship, it was totally dismissed. It was not acknowledged. There was no change behavior. So I was like, okay, this is not cool. If I'm, putting in the effort to make sure, I'm a better person for myself, for you, I expect the same thing in return, So yeah, that on and off relationship, it was a lot. It was really getting to me. And it's just recently, this guy, oh my gosh, my ex is a big old Kevin Samuels fan, right? And if you don't know who Kevin Samuels is, He recently died, but he was a big YouTube sensation, and he was so big because he would give women advice. He initially gave men advice, but didn't get big because until he started giving women advice is where he got pushed back, and a lot of women were like, oh my goodness, I can't believe he said that, you know. And one of the things he said was women were leftovers after, or pardon me, he did say women were leftovers in another situation, but I don't know the exact age for that. But I do know he did say that at 27, it's when you hit the danger zone. And the danger zone when it comes to dating is when you get a little old. It's like if you haven't found a husband by 27, you're considered, like I said, in the danger zone. You need to be looking, you know, religiously. So yeah, and this got brought up in a recent conversation with me and my ex, and it was just like, oh my goodness, like I don't think he's a malicious person. I don't think he says things in order to get a reaction out of me. Sometimes I do think he does, but when he said this specifically, it was just like, dang, like men don't realize when you put that type of pressure on a woman, they then turn, it makes them desperate, and it makes them sad, and it, you know, it makes them, you know, get all worked up and questioning themselves and building up this anxiety, like, why aren't I married yet? Yeah, I must be a horrible person, which could be true, could very well be true, but at the same time, it could not be. Maybe it's just not the right time, you know. And this person, like I said, I was with my ex for 4 years on and off. It's like you're dragging me, and I take accountability in this relationship. I'm dragging you along in this relationship, and you don't want to get married, you know. And it's just like you're in that way, you're like preventing me from finding my person, and I'm preventing me from finding my person. So yeah, it was like it's like, yeah, it's a problem, but it's like in this relationship, it's like, I don't know, because LA, you guys know, LA is just a hard place to date all around. There's stats that's claim that people that live here will tell you that, you know, it's just hard, you know. And a lot of this, and a major reason why we stayed together was because we've been out here, we tried to date other people, and they weren't any better. Most of them were worse, but they were either same level or worse. There was nobody better than, you know, than him for me, and then for me for him. And you know, I was like, if we don't find any better, maybe we should just stick this out. But at the same time, it's just like, again, there's certain things I won't tolerate, there's certain things he won't tolerate. And you know, I thought I was more, you know, I had to bend a little more because, you know, it's up to him to want to marry me. He's going to be the one to propose at the end of the day. So I have to fix what I need to fix. And he laid that out, you know, and I was totally for it. You know, he thought I was going to get bent out of shape. We just had a conversation recently about what he needed in order for him to marry me. And I was like, you know what? These are not hard things. I totally get this. These are things I need to do really anyway. Need to become anyway if I want to be a more decent person than I already am. But again, it's a two-way street, and I can't have somebody constantly manipulating me, telling me, you know, I'm the only issue when there's two issues here. And again, making things issues that shouldn't be issues, making stuff saying things are disrespectful, but they're not. And you know, it's so tough. You know, I wanted to go to therapy with him. He's against it. You know, when he's just telling me something, it's just his opinion. And I'm like, I don't know if he's right, or if, you know, he's so used to me always saying he's right that he just makes everything he says Bible. Like, and it's the most uncomfortable, weird situation I had for a long time. But you know what? I got older. I became more aware of what was happening, more aware of toxic behaviors, you know, and I was like, oh yeah, this person's toxic for me. I gotta let him go. And it was just like, dang, you know, it was, again, in the back of my head, I'm like, I'm letting this go. I'm 26. Next year, I'll be 27. I'll be in the quote unquote danger zone. So it was just very, very hard for me to let that go. Because again, this person I introduced to my parents, I been introduced to his mother. His dad passed away. I close to his kids. He has 2 small kids that I love to death. But it's like I just wanted so much more out of life. I told him I want 3 more kids. I want at least 3 kids. And he only really wanted 1 more. And again, he's in his 50s. He's 52. I'm 26. So understandably so. And then he has 2 small kids. But, you know, there were things I just didn't want to compromise on. Like I have not been outside the country. I wanted to go outside the country with him, with our kids, or together by ourselves. Either way works for me. And when you just want certain things out of life and someone can't give it to you, there's just even if they're the best person in your life right now, I was only hating myself more, and digging myself more in a hole being with him and not experiencing those things and getting upset. I didn't like who I was. I didn't like who I am when I'm with him. And I think that was the determining factor. I was just like, I am so much nicer. I'm skinnier. I'm not eating crazy. He's always eating crazy food all the time. I eat better when I'm not with him. And I think, that was very important for me to realize. And and it was tough. Like I said, it was very tough. But it's messed up, man. Again, I liked Kevin Samuels when he was alive. I agreed with a lot of things he said. But to call women leftovers, again, I hate it when people use extreme examples to try to prove a point. But at the same time, you could say the situation is extreme. There's a lot of women that are in their late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s, late 40s, early 40s that are not getting married, and they wonder why. But to use words like leftovers and the danger zone at 27, it doesn't make women want to figure it out like men do. Like, again, like I said, when Kevin Samuels was speaking to men, it was saying like, oh, you're fat, that's why you don't get the women that's why you can't get the women you want. They just take the advice and roll with it. But women are different human beings. We don't take advice the way men do. And maybe we should, but that's not the way we were raised. A lot of us, let me not say all, a lot of us weren't raised to take brutal honesty the way it's put out there. And again, it's just harsh. It's just harsh. And, I didn't think so much of it until I got to this age. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh my gosh. But now it's just like, dang. But it's tough out here. Men are, I put out a list. All of the things I want from a man is I want a Christian man who's a leader, who can't easily bend a break, someone who, isn't a Democrat up there, and everybody was so shook by that one. That was that was the most crazy thing that I said out of all the things. And I said, I don't want him to be broke. I want him to be ambitious, all those things that any woman would want out of a man. Not too extreme. I'm not asking for a millionaire here. I'm not even asking him to be super tall, or to have a 6-pack, which a lot of these women say they want on these shows, and on the show with Kevin Samuels even. I just want somebody who is a good man and wants to travel the world together, have kids, and not travel the world all the time. I just want to see Paris. I just want to see outside the U.S. right now, because the U.S. is just rat shit right now. And everybody can agree. And I just want to experience other cultures. Like, I don't want to go to just shop, although I love to shop. I'm not going to sit here and lie and be like, I wouldn't love to shop in Paris. But I really want to understand other cultures, how other people do things in their everyday life. It's very intriguing to me. And, I could go by myself, but who wants to do that? Right? So, yeah, I don't think it's far-fetched what I'm asking. Maybe, maybe I do need, and I'm fully aware that I need to work on some things. But again, I'm not that messed up of a person, and everybody's messed up out here. Everybody has problems, and you just gotta choose. You just gotta choose a person you're willing to fight through those problems and work through those problems together with, because y'all both are gonna have stuff you're not gonna like about one another. But you just gotta choose that person. And again, there's like crazy disrespect that you cannot tolerate from another person. That's a whole different topic. But when you just don't want to be around that person because you don't like the way they say things, or I don't know, you just petty things. I couldn't list them because it's just ridiculous. Someone doesn't call you enough, or I don't know. That's stupid. That's so freaking stupid. It's like we all go through traumas. We all have to learn how to deal with certain things to be better people. A human being really loves you. They're gonna do what they have to do to keep you. And yeah, I've realized, I think at the end of the day, even though I said I love this person, I really don't. I love certain things he showed me, and he helped me in life, helped me see things within myself that I had never seen before. But at the same time, I felt like he's also helped me back in a lot of other ways. So yeah, that's what I've been going through. This on and off relationship, it's officially done. I'm over it. You know, another reason why I went back is because I get a little lonely. I don't really have any friends. So he was my whole world, you know. So it's a big transition to go from, you know, always being around this person to not. So yeah, I'm working on it. This is very recent, but you know, it had to happen. So it is what it is. So there's that. And then when it comes to my modeling career, I thought, oh my gosh, guys, I thought I'd be way further along than I am now. I thought I'd be on the cover of Vogue, walking for Versace and Givenchy, all these brands, and been in Paris. You know, if I was to go out the country, it was for a big old brand that wanted me to walk for them. I thought all this would happen way before I hit 26. So yeah, it's upsetting, but you know, I've just realized I'd have to redirect myself a little bit, you know, excuse me. And you know what that redirect is, I'm still figuring it out. You know, I haven't quit modeling completely, but you know, like I said, I'm getting older. It's not as much of a priority now. The priority is, you know, working on myself, finding or attracting my husband. I shouldn't find one. He should come to me, and raising kids and just settling down, because this modeling world, Hollywood, is just not. It hasn't happened for me. You know, I can also sit here and say it's not what I think I really want to be a part of anymore. But you know, I always thought from a young age I was gonna be famous. You know, I told you guys that one story where I was on a set, and an Instagram model, a big Instagram model, told a casting director that booked me for that set. She told him that I'm gonna be big one day, and I've had that in my heart. That story, that her words, it's been in my heart ever since 2019. You know, when I first moved to Los Angeles, but it hasn't happened. And I could sit around thinking it's gonna happen next year or the year after that, but realistically, you know, I'm just trying to figure out another path. And it's been tough. It's been nothing but tough, you know, so it hurts, but you know, I gotta put on my big girl panties and move on. You know, this podcast even wasn't something I really wanted to do. And it's still something I really don't like to do or want to do, but You know, it keeps me from being lazy. And any time I can get out of, you know, just sitting around not being productive, not being ambitious, I want to take that opportunity. And I appreciate you guys. I appreciate, you know, your feedback, the few people that do comment. I appreciate it so much. So yeah, I'm still gonna continue to do my show. But yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys what's in my head. I'm being very vulnerable right now. I don't like sharing my problems. You know, these are things I don't even share with my parents. I'm sharing on YouTube. So yeah, don't go too hard on me in the comments. But yeah, guys, I just want to also make this video and tell people out there who are struggling, you know, to find their path and find their journey. Young 20-year-olds, mid-20s, late 20s. You know, I know it's put out there in the mainstream media, and we see our friends, you know, making progress, and we're not making that progress. Just remember, everybody's journey is different, and to give yourself a little grace. And if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing right now, just sit back. I saw this post. It was like, if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing right now, just sit back and work on yourself. You know, and other things will come later. Read, take on a new hobby, be around new people. You'll figure it out then. Something will be figured out. God is not that cruel to have you sitting in misery forever, you know, and can continue for you to be in misery when you're actually trying to be better. God is going to see that, and he's going to make changes in your life, and you have to truly believe that for yourself in order for it to happen as well. And yeah, and trust me, I understand it's tough. Like I said, I'm 26, I'm being 27 next year. And, you know, 27 is so funny. Back in the day, I used to call 27-year-olds old. Anybody that was 27, 28, I mean, God forbid 30, 35, I was like, oh my gosh, you're so old. When you get to that age, it's like, oh, dang. You do kind of feel old, but at the same time, your life, it's just because, you know, I've been through a lot in the 6 years I've been in Los Angeles, and even the years prior to. I've experienced a lot of things a lot of 20 or 6-year-olds don't experience. So it feels like 10 times that for me. But in reality, guys, your life hasn't even started at 27, 20, 21, 30. You know, everybody's just figuring it out. You know, and married couples will say that their life really didn't start until they got married. Some others would say it really didn't start until they had kids. So, you know, it varies for everyone, but don't get so caught up in what the mainstream media says and what your peers may think. Because again, when you're intentionally trying to be a good person and you're intentionally working on yourself in order to attract what it is you're looking for, you're doing what you need to do. You're doing the right thing. Now, if it's been years and years and years, 10 plus years, then maybe you need to be a little worried. But at 26, you know, you're still a little green. You're not that green, but you're still a little green, so give yourself some grace. I'm trying to give myself grace now. Trust me, it's hard, and I'm struggling. So I get anybody else that is struggling out there, but I want to come up here and then relay that to somebody watching, because I feel like somebody needs to hear it. And I know I need to hear myself say it even now. So yeah. Didn't think I'd be here at 26. I thought I would have been settled down, been at least dating somebody, been traveling, you know, working with the higher end clients that I mentioned before. So it's a little heartbreaking when your life doesn't turn out the way you thought it would. But then you think back to that saying, when you make plans, God laughs. So yeah, I'm trying to laugh it up with him. It's a little difficult, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, stay beautiful out there, and you know, I'm gonna try to do the same. And yeah, and to anyone who feels like, you know, it's too late, don't feel that way. it's crazy. Every time I bring up this topic of like running out of time or getting old, I always think back to that story of there was this Miss, I don't know if it was Miss USA or Miss America. Her name was Christy Chice or something like that. I gotta fact check, guys. I'm so bad at fact checking before I start speaking up here, but I'm kind of speaking off the dome, so I didn't think I was gonna bring her up. But anyway, there was this pageant winner, and she was mixed race. You guys, let me know her name if you guys can find it. And she committed suicide. She committed suicide at a young age. I forget what exact age she was, but I remember she left a note saying she felt like she was running out of time. She wasn't dating anyone. She didn't have any kids. She's gorgeous, but she felt like she was too old. She didn't fulfill her purpose in a sense. So she was just like, I'm just gonna give up my life. And I think a lot of women feel that way. I think it's more so women than men, because men go their whole lives, you know, trying to get to where they want to be at, and you know, and they look good forever. So it's not really men, but for the women out here, they feel like if they're not married by a certain age, or if they're not having kids by a certain age, they're doomed in life, and that's not the case. I gotta tell you, I feel like that sometimes too. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you guys, but it's not the case. It's not the case. If you're actually a decent person, you're actually working on yourself. Now, if you're an effed up person and you intentionally do things that are just evil, then yeah, you should worry. But I don't think this woman was like that. I don't think majority of women are out there that are like that. Don't be so scared. Don't think your life is not worth anything. And don't think about committing suicide at all. You're giving up, dying on the inside. You know, there's a lot of people that are living, but they're not, or alive, but not really living. So I encourage everyone watching this, live every day. We're all going through stuff. So have a little grace, have a little compassion, have a little empathy, sympathy, and, you know, continue to smile. Continue to be hopeful, because even with this election coming up, if a certain person becomes president, I might be a little upset. I know everything's going to be okay in the long run, because I'm a hustler and I'm going to make things happen for myself, even if the people around me aren't, even if it takes me a little while longer, you know, because I believe in God, and I believe He put modeling on my heart for a reason. Maybe it's not supposed to be my main profession, but you know, it's supposed to be in there somehow. It's supposed to intertwine somehow into what I'm meant to do in the long term, because I'm just too good at it, you know, and I love doing it. So again, God's not that cruel to put something so heavy on your heart and not, you know, pursue it in any way. So yeah, guys, I know everybody doesn't believe in God, but you should believe in yourself. Okay, watching this, I strongly suggest you should start believing in God, but if you don't, you should really at least believe in yourself every day. Okay, love on yourself, do something to better yourself every day, whether that's reading a new book, like I said, or learning a new skill set. I'm actually really considering going to Michael's and learning how to knit again. I used to love knitting as a kid. I don't know if you guys remember it. It's like a circle knit kit, and you wrap the string around, you push it down, you make scarves. I made a lot of scarves, but I also do the knitting where it's just the needle, and just the one needle and the two needles, the two long needles, and you go like this. But I haven't done it so long, I forgot. So I'm thinking about taking that up, taking some acting classes, and yeah, just going to different parts of LA, because the parts I've been to, I know everybody's the same people, you know, so all that is in the works. So figure it out for yourself, do different stuff that's in your city, and yeah, you'll start to feel a little bit better about yourself. You'll start to meet new people and learn new ways of life, and you're gonna love it. Okay, So I'm back, guys. I'm gonna be a little more positive. I'm not gonna go ghost like that. I'm not gonna let my struggles keep me down. I'm gonna thrive in these next few weeks. And yeah, I can't wait to share the journey with you guys. This is day number 1. Okay, guys? Okay. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. I love you guys. Please like this video if you like this video. Please comment always. I'd love to hear you guys' opinions. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, okay? Love you. Bye.